Yeah, I'm not sure that show's been released yet.
No, that's in the third season.
It's in the third season. All right. Well, then it has not been released yet. You'll have to wait till the company Timeless Media comes out with the third season, and that should be fairly soon. I don't know. I don't have a date on it, but it should be within the next few months, I would think.
Okay, so check with Karen Lindsay, and you can just type her up on the computer.
Right. Just go to the Virginian.net, and that's the website, Virginian.net.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks Anna Jean.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I have another one for you, Jim. This one is from Sharon Klopfenstein. And, excuse me, while she doesn't say where she's from, she does. I'm sorry. Yes, indeed. You would have known anyway by the questions. But anyway, what she says is, this is for Mr. Drury on Saturday, June 19th. I had the honor of meeting you in Cambridge, Ohio on April 30th and getting my picture taken with you. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and so glad you came to this area of the country. My question is, do you like horse racing, and have you ever been to the Kentucky Derby? If not, do you anticipate ever attending the greatest 2 minutes in sports? Thanks for taking my question, Sharon.
Well, I love horse racing. I love to watch the ponies go, whether it's thoroughbreds or quarter horses. I've always loved going to the races and putting down $1 or $2 at the betting window. I've never been very successful at that, but I usually just bet on the horse that I think looks the best, and that's about as good a handicapping system as you can get, I think.
You're probably right.
At any rate, I have never been to the Kentucky Derby, and I'd love to come, and maybe someday I'll get a chance to come up there. I know a lot of people who have gone, and they've all been amazed at the spectacle, and of course we've all seen it on television every year. We watch it every year religiously. It is indeed the greatest 2 minutes in sports. I have a friend who is a former jockey whose daughter is now a veterinarian with the thoroughbreds in Louisville and Lexington, and he's very proud of that. And by the way, in Lexington, while we were there, we were just traveling through and marveling at the wonderful bluegrass country on Highway 60, which is in the north part of Lexington. It's a little two-lane highway we were using to get from place to place. And we went past a nursery, and they had a sign out that said, what was that thing? Garden Girls Restaurant. Garden Girls Restaurant. And we went to the Garden Girls Restaurant there on Highway 60, and I must say the food was splendid, absolutely exquisite. They made us lunch, and I can still taste their breads and stuff that they put out there. Very highly recommend that restaurant to anybody in Lexington.
Wow.
Or anybody passing through Lexington. So I wanted to give them a plug because they gave us such a great meal.
Well, that's a great thing for you to do. I have another one here for you, Jim. This one's from Petra, and it says, my name is Petra. I'm from Germany. I wish Mr. Drury and you all the best for your upcoming projects. I was 7 years old when I watched my first episode of The Virginian on German television. Now my son gets interested. So I'm really happy that the DVDs came out because it's much more fun to improve your English with The Virginian. If you could ask Mr. Drury the following question, would Mr. Drury consider doing a film outside the U.S. if he got an offer? Yours truly, Petra.
When can we start? I mean, I'll be on the next plane to Germany if that's where you've got it made.
I understand.
Well, I want you to talk a little bit, Jim, about just a typical day, if it was in fact typical, of your production schedule. Because it's been said that you maintained a sense of control over the production of the Virginian. You had to. I know you had to deal with the standards and practices guys and everything. What was a typical day like for you?
Well, typically we started very early in the morning, 6:30 or 7, to get into the studio and get into costume and makeup, and then we always tried to get our first shot by 8:15 in the morning. We were tried to use that as a standard because we had so much work to do. We had to really move very rapidly through our scripts and our schedule. And you see, we make them in 8 days. That was our normal shooting schedule. But we used them up every 5 days because those were our air dates. So we had to have oftentimes multiple units, 2 units, or sometimes as many as 4 or 5 units, making different segments of the Virginian on different parts of the studio, and on the sound stages and on the back lot, and also on distant locations all over Southern California. So we had our work cut out for us in trying to bicycle between the shows or horseback between the shows and do what we had to do in any particular segment. And the typical day was long, and we always tried to get at least 10 to 15 pages a day of script shot in total wherever we were working, whatever show we were working on, whatever episode we were working on, I should say. So I don't know, we just charged ahead. It was logistically it was impossible to do a 90-minute show with continuing characters, and we were the first to ever attempt it, and the only one to ever be successful over the long haul. Although Wagon Train had a very successful season as 90 minutes in color, but they didn't continue, and we were able to do it for 9 long years. So we're very proud of that record, and very very glad that we had the opportunity to do it. It went by in a blur, and I never had a bad day on the Virginian. It was a joy. Everything about it was a joy. It was not work. It was the most wonderful set of electric trains any boy ever had, as Orson Welles said.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's well said. But I'm sure the fans knew that too, Jim, because everybody enjoyed it quite so much, and it was such an enduring show.
And look, we're also, by the way, opening up the phone lines for those who want to call in, toll free, 888-909-1050. That's 888-909-1050. And you got some more email there, don't you, Paul?
I'd like to read another one. This one comes from Kelly in Massachusetts. And the message for you, Jim, is...
I wanted him to read this, Jim, because it kind of dovetails what we were talking about, just now talking about the production schedule.
Jim, it was so great to meet you last weekend in Harrisburg. I am still walking on clouds. I watched your interview on your DVDs, and I agree with you about why Hollywood should not give away its secrets about how a stunt is done. It does take away the effect and wonder. One of the episodes, The Day of the Scorpions, I have never seen this stunt before anywhere, and every time I watch it, my head hurts. You are fighting a sheep herder who is using a whip on you. While fighting, you punch him and he falls, hitting his head on a rock. He gets up, then falls to the ground without bracing himself, and hits his head hard on the ground. It looks so real, and yes, if I knew how they did that, it would not have been so dramatic, and it would have lost that wow factor. Thank you so much for giving us such a great show to watch. Your heart and dedication, as well as your great acting ability, made the Virginian what it is today. A real classic. Best wishes to you and your family. Safe travels as you tour. Your friend and fan forever, Kelly.
I remember Kelly. She took the bus from Massachusetts to Harrisburg to get over there to see me, and brought her mother with her, and a couple of lovely ladies, and I enjoyed meeting them so much. They brightened up my whole day when they came, and then they stayed the second day and came back. They had pictures taken and enlarged at the CVS drugstore or something, and came back, and we were able to sign them for them. So that was great. I was glad they did that. And those are the kinds of people that you just can't get enough of. That's all. They really make you feel wonderful.
Well, I'm sure she felt wonderful too. She's still walking on the clouds, Jim.
Well, I know she was very excited about it.
Well, she talks. I know she mentioned something in there. I mean, just when you watch all of this, and I know that particular episode she's talking about, because that was quite a dramatic fight scene that she was describing. But
yes,
and you talk about this on your interview again. Folks out there have to get your hands either on the commemorative tin or the box set of the Virginian Season 1 or Season 2. It contains a full half-hour interview with James Drury, who we're talking to here this morning. And one of the great points that you made, and not to give too much of it away here, because we want people to go to your website, certainly, thevirginian.net,